mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
Here we go.
Hey. All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is May 13th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing all right. You know, I'm getting my legs back about me.
Legs back about you. What were you, sick? Were you at sea? What is this all right stuff? I need more enthusiasm, more pep. We're on the verge of we're on the edge of a major championship. The eve. What does this all right mean?
I mean, I drove like 31 hours in a span of 48 hours. So, yeah, I've been better, you know?
All right. Well, we have a big major ahead of us. We got a good preview. Although, is it a major? Who knows? Someone.
It's a major.
I know. Someone whose opinion I respect, who's not bombastic, said this is a PGA Tour event with a bigger trophy. As I was walking out tonight, I was like, oh my God. It was totally like non-hot take artist, just totally blindsided me with that. But no, it's a major. I'm very excited, quite frankly. I was here today. I was driving out and I was on the shuttle, which, makes, it feel a little less major. I gotta say, it's nice pulling in the lot, walking to the media center at the Masters, then having to get on the 30-minute shuttle. I was like, everything.
Send a message to the USGA, give us on-site parking or else.
Shinnecock. Yeah. Yeah, I have good friends I talk with a lot of our good friends at the USGA and elsewhere. But honestly, it feels like a major. Is that like just the most subjective, ethereal nonsense, pablum bullshit? Sure, maybe a little bit. But I was driving out, I was like, everything about it. It's a major market. The build out feels pretty significant. It's tight, not a giant golf course left for the modern major build out, which is a separate conversation. And I don't know. It just I got quite frankly pretty excited about the week ahead as we were pulling out after today. And there are issues with the golf course. Maybe we'll get through, but I'm pretty excited. I do feel like it's major-ish, and it felt very consequential and like a big week is ahead.
I would echo that as someone who's driving, getting his news and bites and, calling PJ to see what's going on, every couple hours, catch up. Lots of stuff happened. A barometer of a major is just sheerly how much stuff happens during a week. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff flying around early this week. It's been a good week for content. A really good week for content.
It got to like noon today. I was like, well, I'm already business Pete, I could justify this trip. I got enough. I got like 45 minutes I could podcast. There are players really mad about the range setup. There's issues with Carrie Hage on this and that. I've got Blocky's speaking engagement, thirst and then pricing. I've got lots of stuff we can get into before the night's over.
As a fellow compatriot that, we stand as a league of gentlemen who have interviewed Carrie Hage and tried to pull information out of Carrie Hage. Me and you.
Yeah.
This was when you worked at SB Nation.
Oh, I remember.
I had him on the Fried Egg Pod. So we've both interviewed Carrie Hage. Tough guy to get information out of.
Oh, I assume you were the case. Just like this young, naive media person, like, oh, you're giving me like the setup guy. This is awesome. Like, this is great. And then it's just brick wall, running into a brick wall. I used this on our little YouTube video we did on Monday. My friend this old man has this old man saying of like talking to a guy who's not interesting or just tough to talk to. It's like chewing on your wallet. Carrie Hage is the epitome of this phrase, chewing on your wallet, the conversation with him.
Did you see the PGA Championship social video with Carrie?
No, I didn't. Is it just popping with
did
charisma.
a golf course kind of primer social video with Carrie Hage. This is the guy in charge of setting up the golf course. I see it flash on. I'm like, all right, let's see. I like, knowing what I know, I'm like, there can't be anything in
there's
this.
bunkers, there's grass.
I mean, you just basically hit what he said. He said, we're going to Aronimink. It's a Donald Ross design. It's in Philadelphia. Then he said, Gil Hanse restored it. And then he said there's lots of bunkers and some nice greens. And that was the video. I asked PJ, do you think he just read it right from the golf course fact sheet?
I mean, if you needed the fact sheet to get that out, then we have bigger problems, honestly. Like, cause that's pretty rote. Which, to be fair, he can be that way if he's really good at his job. I think there's some like some people say he's great. I have some people tell me today he's like the most overrated, and there's always these problems, and he's just created this milk toast, just to put it in a more PC way, sort of wimpy, like, wimpy, what's the out, kowtow to the players type bland major. That's one point of view. Another is like he creates good setups that are drama free, and that tend to, produce compelling golf tournaments. I'm not sure where I land on that. Go ahead.
Think golf has the most sensitive sallies of any sport. Like all these people inside the sport have these little rivalries and quibbles with everyone else.
Oh yeah, it's rife with like insecurity, kind of, and like just that like person could know you from Adam, and you just like there's just these daggers you like throw at people, whispers and things like that, right? Yeah.
I feel like this can't be the case in like the NFL or the NBA. This just can't. I'm sure there are, but like there's it just feels like the more I'm in this industry, the more everybody's just trying to stab each other in the back.
That may be. Maybe a little bit. I mean, you mix in some agents, you mix in 5, competing's too strong a word, but bodies, maybe more than 5, throw in the DP. Like, yeah, there's a lot of whispering that goes on when you're. I was staggered at the amount of whispering I got about. I mean, I'll tell you who hates being the lead here in the first. Carrie Hage. That we've talked more about him than Aronimink, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy. Fitzpatrick, Cameron Young, or anybody else. But just to give you a sense of the Hage discourse, first thing I got this morning was like, players are fuming about the driving range. I was like, all right, this is what I want. Feed me more. Like, just furious about the driving range.
What is it about it?
So it was kind of crazy. It was like pushed back, like, they've got to get through 7-ish days, right? So they moved the rope around. Well, the rope was always all the way at the back, so there was no room to set up trackmans. There was no room for the coaches to be properly aligned or standing, which just made me chuckle. Like, there were coaches retreating to the media pen. They've got one of those cattle pens for the media, so they were retreating so they could get a better view from behind.
Media like that.
You take the driver out, couldn't walk by. You get knocked out. It was very tight, and I was just dying that the pampered Fs can't set up their TrackMan in a position that is most perfect for their range session, which made me laugh. But that had people worked up at Carrie Hage.
To give you an idea how they treat the media at Shinnecock, they had us on the very front edge of the range. It was probably about a 7-degree downslope.
Not usable for the pros. Yeah.
And the wind was humming like 30 miles an hour off my left. I was like, I might as well not even hit golf balls because this is pretty much the worst setup you could give me.
What are you doing? One of those things that was delightful about Scotland is like, I don't think we touched a driving range or hit a single ball. It was just great. Even the old course included. Just roll out there. It's great. Delightful. Did you see Rory's comments about how the wind being off the left at Quail Hollow at the range for 6 straight days or 5 straight days is what screwed him up a little bit, and why he started missing left? That the range wind
Well,
being consistent for a
you
week.
you see him regularly go to like different sides of the range.
Yeah, sure, sure.
I mean, range off your left. That's just range with the wind off your left. That for a righty, it's better to not hit golf balls.
I mean, that's not an option for a pro at a major championship. I don't
Why
think
isn't
it is. I mean,
Brooksy did it at the St. Jude. What, he hit 5 golf balls the one year?
Carlos Franco, yeah, I guess he wouldn't do it, allegedly. I don't know if
I think that's like something that like
cite.
a recreational golfer wouldn't know. If the
Yeah.
wind's blowing off your left, do not go grind on the range for 2 hours. Like, that's a bad decision. Go putt. Go chip and putt.
I mean, can we just be honest about if you're a recreational golfer, don't spend 2 hours on the range for any reason, wind or no wind. That's insane.
I think I've gotten so far away from grinding
Yeah.
that I'm interested in grinding and having that be a part of my golf life.
Like 2 hours on a driving range?
I mean, I would chip and putt for 2 hours.
Sure, that could be fun if you find a good area for it. So range drama on Tuesday.
I love that.
Oh, it was
Who do
hilarious.
you think that's got to be?
Can't set up
PJ
my track, man.
PJ was telling me that Bryson's odds are just going up through the roof. Maybe it's because of the range.
Oh, it's not well. Maybe that's why he's going at 7:30. He's going at dark. Every night. He's just been totally MIA lately. I don't know if he's filming YouTube videos during the day and then he's going and practicing at night. I don't know what's going on, but he hasn't been around.
I think he probably is going late because that's when his audience, his YouTube metrics tell him that his audience is most active.
It's like an SEO play or whatever, optimization play. What do you think the star of this show is? What do you think the main event is? Storyline 1. We have like a pinky toe gate problem, I guess we could talk about with Rory. I don't think that's the biggest story. I just
can I cop out here?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this a lot on the car ride.
Yeah.
Like, what is the lead story?
Yeah.
I think it's just that there's a major up for grabs. And maybe this sounds strange because
always up for grabs.
We have had, every major basically since Live has had this Live undertone. Now it's like dying, which is an interesting undertone. But you don't have the Rory Grand Slam that the Masters had. Scotty, I think you could put into the top bucket of storylines, but I actually think that it feels pretty wide open, and that's the story.
Okay.
Why
do you think it feels wide open? Why do you think that's the case?
I just think that this golf course, I think a lot of things are coming ahead here. I think this week is very emblematic of where golf is. And how golf doesn't really fit. The modern professional golf doesn't really fit a lot of places. And one of the places it might not fit, and before Philly sports fans come at me and say, oh, Marion +1-1, blah, blah, blah. You completely bastardize the course to manufacture a score. But I think that it's just emblematic of this great sports city, Philadelphia, and one of their great venues being completely overrun by technology and the modern golfer. So you have this big storyline. As someone who's, kind of always been on the course beat since I got into golf, this is the most I've ever seen course discourse ahead of a major. And it's kind of wild to me. It's like all these people are complaining about, the scores might be like 16 to 20 under. And we aren't addressing the elephant in the room, is that like all of a sudden 7,400 yards is a tiny golf course for these guys. I saw Rory's projected on Data Golf to hit like 3 shots above over 150 yards or something like that.
On non-par threes. Yeah. Or
I mean,
not
what
in the par fours.
what are we doing?
Yeah, I think that's
So, but to my greater point, the golf course and the fact that these clubs are going to be available to everybody, like short clubs are going to be available to almost everybody in the field. It makes me feel like this could go a lot of different ways. And I want to say, I think Aronimink is a wonderful golf course. And all these comments from Rory about trees to Xander being just like patronizing, like speaking in a tone like the members are so dumb. It's like, you know who gets to enjoy this golf course for the next 10 years without you assholes running around it? The members at Aronimink. It's a way more enjoyable place for them to play golf. I would generally say they don't really care what happens this week.
This is not a place trying to host a major every 6 years, 5 years, 10 years even. It's hosting this major, and I think this tree work was more for member play necessarily, or just the general health of the golf course.
So anyways, it's just a great classic, if you want to use the analogy, a great classic. I'm not going to say it's Fenway or Wrigley of golf because it isn't, but this is like Tiger Stadium just not being able to, Tiger Stadium got replaced because it was old, and had shitty infrastructure. It's not getting replaced because it just can't host. It can't challenge baseball players anymore. So this golf course is being kind of dragged through the mud. And, and then you could get into the whole Cam Young Titleist discourse here.
Maybe.
But anyways, this golf course, it's a wide open field because I don't think it is going to, test in a major championship way golf. And I think that's the storyline.
I would agree with you. I think I think the golf course is absolutely the biggest storyline at the start of the week. Whether you want to through a lens of it's an open thing, it's a very open, wide open major. I think there's a larger storyline of has kind of an entire, maybe the most densely rich area of the country for championship golf courses is kind of not available for proper major championship play. I'm not going to say a proper finishing score. I think the way Winged Foot was played, probably not what we would call proper, right? In terms of full credit to how it was done, but that wasn't necessarily what you would think how it should be played. There's Shinnecock, and that's available, but that's it. And that's a different deal because it's, out on the end of an island with wind.
Just wait. The Oak Hill people are going to say, what about us?
What about it? I just, you made this golf course that's a gazillion miles long with, I don't know.
Narrow fairways and thick rough.
There's isn't that a problem? If all these incredible cities with these incredible golf courses, and you have Rory saying this is strategically non-existent off the tee, and that was less a comment about trees and more a comment about hey, I can hit it 350 yards. I think Jeff Shackelford talked to him today and was but yeah, you are exception, you are the top of the pyramid on lawn. He's we're all long. We're all long enough, is what he said. They're all maybe there's probably a few. He didn't say that. There's a few that might not be long. Everyone is long enough to make the strategy out of this.
Brian Campbell's not. He gets to let. Did you see the Gabby Herzig piece?
I saw it. I didn't read it.
He was talking about how a lot of times the bunkers aren't in his way because he's short of them.
So that feels like a thing. That feels like a greater comment. And canary, Winged Foot was the canary in the coal mine, I would say, of this in 2020. That feels like a real problem when you start looking out at the most populous part of the country with the most championship tradition golf courses, and can that be a style? What you can call this Parklands, you can call it whatever, suburban golf, whatever you want to call it, can't really challenge like professional golf in a proper original way anymore.
I the way I would describe this in kind of layman's terms, the challenge of Aronimink, and Rory hit on this, is the greens. The greens are really cool. They're some of the best greens in the world. Just like Augusta. They aren't built the same way as Augusta, but they have similar effect as Augusta. They have a ton of slope. And then they have these little pockets that you want to get your ball in. And if you get your ball in there, you're going to have really good looks. If you don't, you have really hard putts over ridges or, chips where you have to judge it. And instead of Augusta where it's short grass, it's thick rough here. But anyways, so you have this dynamic of you want to get it into the right section. Where Augusta's just bought property for tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars over time to extend their golf course, to retain some facsimile of the iron shot that you would hit in being long, especially on long holes. Let's think about the fifth hole. You hit a really long club into that really severe green. Most courses like Aronimink they can't. There's no justification for spending this money and buying the $4 million home on the whatever hole and backing your tee up 20 yards. No normal course is going to do this. So what happens is that target is really hard to hit with a long iron. Really hard. And you have to hit a really great shot. And what's happened is that this golf course has become, you hit a wedge into that same target, and it becomes so much easier to access that target. So that's, in short, what's kind of happened to so many of these great golf courses, Winged Foot included. And I think you were right about that being the canary in the coal mine. And listen, like this golf course, as I was described, that I didn't have much speed today. Somebody made a comment to you guys that I didn't have much speed. I would need.
Listen, you don't have to wear golf shoes.
I had more speed.
Yeah.
But like I saw this in playing. I said this. This is not a flex. I went on like a media circuit tour basically for next year. Last fall, played Shinnecock, the U.S. Open host, Marion, and here. And I would be on the bottom end, the very bottom of the PGA Tour driving distance. I found Aronimink very challenging with approach shots, more challenging than Marion, and almost as challenging, probably about equally challenging as Shinnecock. But that challenge gets so watered down when you're hitting a wedge in.
And, I think the course is the main star for a few reasons. One is this larger debate that you've talked about, the one that might be wide open. I think there is a little bit of mystery about it. I think there is, I think people will make judgments based on the score. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean what's happening. Like these guys are all still just hitting wedges, right? I mean, and it's not just Rory. It's the guys who are average length, and it takes a little bit of the teeth out of the greens if I can just kind of muscle a wedge from the rough to like the front, and then it just runs into where, like, that's kind of what we're seeing happen a little bit more, as opposed to having to hit a fairway or having to make a real like mid iron shot to a spot. Like it takes a little bit of the strategy going out of the green. But I'm hearing like the prevailing notion this morning, the majority opinion, I think, is coaches, caddies, players, these guys are going to tear it up. They're going to light it up. It is going to be low. The scores are going to be low. Guys, there's, Thursday and Friday, got to get 156 guys around. There's club pros and any manner of people they just got to get through. They can't have, 5 scores in the 80s, and they just can't have it slow. And that's probably true. There'll probably be some really low scores early on. But I also got like a sense then the day progressed and it was firm. It was firmish out there. And the day progressed. And like I got that started to come back a little bit. There was like like, oh, like there is a little bit more. Oh, like the guys who played in 2018, like this is a different place because I was soaked in 2018. I saw Matt McCarty as he was walking out. I was like, I think like all these guys in the media saying everybody's just gonna like it's so easy. They're full of it. And so there was a little bit more now we might get a shower on Wednesday, but I think we've done okay to get some firm conditions. So I think there's a mystery about how this score might go.
I think it's the 10 to 14 number, but if you're interested in par, this is a par 70.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is par 70. So there's, not 4 par 5s. There's 2 par 5s. So your total score, like people have this illusion with score to par, but like Augusta's a par 72. If they wanted to reduce scoring, they could just go to par 70, and the perceived challenge would be greater. This is a par 70. So this is set up, relatively in a relative scheme as tough as it can get from a par perspective. So I think I think what people also need to disassociate is score as good.
Score.
Score. If the score is this equals good. I do think this does, especially if it's firm, present something where it will still be tough to get into those pockets from the rough. And I think that's the key to this golf course is if the greens are firm this week, it will present, hey, if you're in the rough, it's going to be hard to get to some of these really small tucked hole locations. And Scotty talked about that. It's a completely different course, but if they get significant rain this week, it's going to be a shooting gallery.
Scotty was super eloquent talking about the difference between a firm and soft golf course and how much it changes. Just to put a bow on the score point, like Philly Cricket Club I guess it would have been about this time last year. Like everybody shot like 64 on that first day, and then I think the winning number might have been single digits. I think the tank, like it kind of.
I think he's at 12. If I remember, just off recall, I feel like 12 or something like that one.
The final, like it was. I think there were course records. There was like 3 or 4 course records, quote unquote, at the first day, and then it leveled. That doesn't mean like bunkers were still in play. Or that like they weren't still hitting wedges into everything. And that may be so there's like disassociate the score from the whole issue of like that still doesn't mean these guys aren't going to be hitting it over every single bunker. And if that's like that's just the quibble that you have with how these courses are not played, how they're supposed to be or were intended to be. We'll see. Do you think there could be any scenario in which like I don't think this will be the case with the PGA, but where the greens are just too much, where the greens are like they get too firm or too fast or they're too severe, too undulating. I'm hearing like some mumbling about 11 is like too much. There's like a pinnable area on the heat map, but there's allegedly
the greens are nuts.
Is there a way that there's a problem?
Not with Carrie Hage.
Not with chewing on your wallet. I know. I don't think that's the case.
What's your big story? What do you think the biggest storyline is?
The course, I think, for all the reasons. I think there's a bit of mystery about it. I think there's a larger comment on where the professional game is.
I think like what I was kind of getting at with this course diatribe is like I do like majors are usually 10 to 12 guy races.
Yeah.
I think that this golf course and this setup, and listen, this is not a critique. It could make for an awesome tournament because of this. I think it's going to open it up to a lot of guys. Who's one that could get in? I guess it's their first storyline of the week. He's never played well. The storyline nobody's talking about for the week. He's never played well at a major championship, but he's looking to maybe go back to back. The Philly fanatic Sepp Straka looking to go back to back in Philly area events. Could this be where the tank comes rumbling out? He's used to aerial warfare. Are we getting a little bit more ground warfare? And the tank is in play this week.
I mean, what if he's like just becomes the favorite, like this adopted son? So he picks up the BMW Philly Cricket or the Quail, whatever it is, truest at BMW at Philly Cricket. He gets a PGA at Aronimink the next year. Marion 2030 is coming sooner than we think. Maybe he just becomes Mr. Philly Fanatic as the storyline nobody's talking about. He's a good pick. He's a very gamey pick.
PJ and I were talking about this today. We think the storylines nobody's talking about is the best thing we do on this podcast.
That's just not. I hope that's not the case, quite frankly. Done 8 years of semi-serious podcasting with some irreverent jokes in between. But yes, it is good. It's very fun. People like it. Okay, do you like the tank this week?
No, it was just our first storyline.
Okay.
But I actually, no, I think that like usually these setups are such that like their short clubs are so unavailable to medium length hitters that over time the distance really separates, right? Mm-hmm. Or tremendous skill in the sense of like a Scotty, where it doesn't matter where he's hitting his approach shot from.
Like
this week, everybody's gonna run at this Rory number of like 3 approach shots over 150 yards.
Yeah.
But what that means is that everybody else is hitting way shorter approach shots than they're used to in majors. So I would just point out, and we might, if one of the best players in the world wins, that should be, that's just kind of the way major championships have worked lately. But I wouldn't be surprised to see someone win that is not like who you wouldn't expect to win a major based off their recent history, because of this golf course requires, when it's firm, still a lot of skill, but the distance is much, that distance advantage is actually, I think, a little mitigated.
I think another way of saying it though too is also like the advantage decreases when you are, call it like 100 to 125 guy, as opposed to the Rory's at 130 and the other guy's hitting from 160, right? I mean, that advantage just becomes a little greater, right, as you're hitting longer and longer clubs. All right. Maybe that's not extreme enough, but yes, it might bring a lot more guys playing Rory ball or whoever, Bryson ball kind of stuff. They're living in that world for a little bit. Fascinating. I think it's a fascinating golf course. A lot of people are saying it's blah. A lot of people are saying this came up too soon. I don't know that I'm there. I maybe was on the back foot a little bit coming into the week, but I'm pretty engaged with everything that's going on right now. Another comment I'll say is like, it sounds like they don't think this is big enough to host a major because of all the the infrastructure stuff, right? I mean, that's another comment about where we've gone here.
It's just insane that
it's a big place.
How few places can host.
It's congested. Yeah. It's just what are majors anymore? Are they? I mean, you see it with the Open a lot about where you can't go to Turnberry, you can't go to Muirfield because of the bodies and all the infrastructure. That seems like a problem. But this,
what?
Go ahead.
You know what the number one storyline nobody's talking about this week is?
What's that? Let it rip. Gonna fly now? Is that a Rocky Balboa? I've never watched a Rocky movie.
Jordan Spieth looks to channel Rocky Balboa and search for the slam. This feels like I can't believe how muted. Close. I think Phil would have more buzz at U.S. Opens at age 55 than Spieth does in the heart of his prime, well, alleged prime of his career for the slam.
I mean, you got the marquee pairing. He's with Rory and Rahm, which feels like just one of these things is not necessarily like the other right now. But that could be ESPN. KV, seriously, ESPN, like Spieth is a needle in those situations. They'll probably, I think they're out early Thursday, so they do that late Friday deal, and they'll have those guys and put them up in lights on Friday, and that's the pairing. I wouldn't say it's muted. You think like nobody's even talking about Jordan Spieth? Yeah,
I don't think anybody is
he's close.
seriously talking about him.
Well, seriously, is a separate. That's a good qualifier. I just think they're talking about him plenty.
Like, I don't think there's any. I haven't seen anybody be like, you know what? He might win this week.
Oh well, that's insane. If people are going there, that's just not. That's not. Yeah, not a credible argument. He's close though. It's just one thing each week.
What do you got? What's another nugget for the ground that you picked up today?
Well, Rory's toe is like a thing. It's not a thing. He was walking around with no shoe on, and he bailed his practice round after 3 holes. I don't know. Fitting in, Rory's toe blister lays the long line of odd Philly sports injuries. What are the other ones? What are the other odd ones?
I mean, you got Embiid. This is always a mystery.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah. That's fair.
Markel Fultz's shoulder
shoulder.
exploding after he's drafted #1 overall.
Or just a bunch of Sixers. I noticed all the golf bags are Sixers themed. Like, that's a bad week for it. Callaway did it. TaylorMade did it.
I think it's a great week for it,
well, because they're all going to be red, white, and blue next month for the U.S. Open. Why? I just couldn't figure it out. But
We got Andrew Bynum in the list.
Andrew Bynum.
I believe Ryan Madsen after a playoff game kicked a chair and broke his toe.
Vaguely familiar. Yeah.
So
that's
another toe
familiar.
one.
Look, you got an up close and personal look at the toe.
I did. I mean, I wasn't like looking for it. I did. Look, he's still like, I don't think it's impacting his swing, which is good. It doesn't mean anything for his golf swing. It probably is not fun to walk, which is going to be a thing. Maybe he applies for the John Daly cart. Could you see him scooting around in a cart when the PGA's giving it to John Daly? What if he won? What if he won in a cart? You know, Wendy and Stephen A on Monday. Rory won in a cart because he had a blister.
Like, did we even talk about the Stephen A take ever?
I just said I'm not indulging it. They're just putting catnip out for us. They just want us to take the bait. It's on his right side, his pinky toe. I don't think he has a toenail. It's some blister. He's getting wider shoes. He wrapped it today, and that lasted only three holes. Seems like a problem, but also you wouldn't want to be walking around if it hurts today. If it was actual round, you'd probably keep it going. I think look, you would like him to be 100%, and he seems like this is a real nagging thing. But if he can swing fine, then so be it. And he gets this wider shoe and separates or whatever they were talking about he's going to do. That's fine. He says he said it was something he's never dealt with before. It's not like a recurring thing that's pestering him over the years. But it's going to be a toe watch here for 24 hours going into Thursday.
There's going to be a lot of toe talk.
I think maybe it's just being the media being the way they are. Him being the player, the prominent stature player that he is. But if he felt like a happy boy. It was like quite a turn from last year, right? Like I think there's a clarity of like what motivates him. I think there's a real comfort with what he's achieved and what it means for what he's done and what it means what he wants to do. And he was he just was talking to he was holding court today. So he's still, I think he's #1 in strokes gained off the tee, #4, and like he's having a very good year. Not like it's been his best with the back and the toe, but absolutely story. Could he go for the season slam? I'm not going to go there, but I think given the way that he's pretty comfortable with the course and saying it lacks strategy off the tee, it feels like he's very game to win, as long as the toe doesn't get in the way.
JLM, I got to call out JLM. He just joined the studio here. He called out on our preview show that the setup might feel very Oak Hilly. And then Rory referenced Oak Hill as a similar setup.
Why does it feel Oak Hilly?
I think for the reasons that Rory described. The the older school golf course, tree lined, and then you got a little bit. You can kind of swing away with driver, and there's not a whole lot to discourage it. Yeah, the winged foot, Oak Hill bucket. I think you can throw a lot of these courses in that bucket. Yeah, thanks for bringing me out, Andy. Been hanging out backstage while you guys were cooking.
Wasn't the point?
Do you have any wine? I was thinking about getting a ceremonial glass when I heard you were joining today.
Wasn't the point that it's not tree lined though? Isn't that his point, or several of the players' points today?
Sure, but if there's anything to dissuade you, it's a potential tree. There's no water. There's not going to be there's no coast.
Well, there's an RTJ Memorial Pond on 17, I think.
Can I ask a question?
Please, it's your podcast.
If your shoe's causing you issues, is there anything stopping you from just playing barefoot?
It crossed my mind as he was, stepping about on the fourth tee box. Like, could he just do this for the rest of the day? Feels like, given where he's at right now, could be an infection risk. I don't know what's going on. He's like,
just dunk it in hydrogen peroxide. Whenever I get a cut as an adult, I feel like that's what you just dunk it, whatever thing you have in hydrogen peroxide. It'll fix everything.
How are you feeling about him this week? Toe included or not toe included?
I mean, I think he's in a good mood. He's one of the two best players in the sport. He's in a good mood. The golf course fits him well. It comes down to, does he, what's a bad, I don't know. Is a bad week T18 like it was last week?
Yeah, probably. For the standards that people put on him externally. What are you giggling about over there?
Me?
Yeah, you're giggling. You're a giggling boy.
I just heard something in the other room.
Okay. What do you think? A bad week? Is T18 a bad week? Is that fair to say?
I mean, I think that probably you walk away disappointed. Like, as if you picked Rory, you walk away disappointed with T18, obviously. But I mean, I kind of expect him to be in the mix.
What about Scotty? What would be a disappointing week for him? Anything more than T4, T3? Yeah. I think he's my pick to win. That's very obvious because I have a one and done. I haven't used him yet.
I'm taking him too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
We got to stay hot as a gambling pod, so we got to go chalk. I'm going with Scotty because I have him. He's available in my one.
Peach, you want to make your pick while we're here at minute 56?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I mean, we're not even close to done. This will be the storyline nobody's talking about. Gambling pod's gonna back the blue this week. Can the deputy channel Nick Foles and take over the starting job from the sheriff? I'm taking Sam Burns.
I love this. I called him out this morning to someone who was complaining about how all American golfers are really boring. I was like, you know what? Could be a good Sam Burns week. Lags his way to a win. They're like, oh my God. They're talking about the boring American golf. That's a great pick, Peach. Great pick. We just saw him do it at the Masters.
Yeah, he's slowly becoming a major player. Good putter. Just got to get it on the green, leg it down there. Here we go.
Back the blue. So if he wins, where's Scotty in this scenario? Is he
Andy
promoted?
And I discussed that.
No,
it's we got to figure out.
Sam gets promoted from deputy to lieutenant.
Sergeant, yeah, whatever the order is.
Yeah, I like pick. Sergeant Sam. That seems like a good title for him.
Lamagna, who are you picking? Let's just stow like the Easter eggs right in the middle of the podcast. Our picks, where nobody's
Joseph,
looking.
I loved your tweet last night. I got into my hotel that I stayed at last night at like 1 a.m, and I hadn't really been online at all because I was driving. I took the pledge with Jordan Spieth. And I opened it up and I saw yours, like all the touts. This is what I've gotten from the touts this week. You have to be good off the tee, good with irons, good around the green, and a good putter.
There is a lot of that happening. There is a lot. If we just pick Scotty, these people love Scotty this week. Rory, love him. Cameron, he's like they list these names and it's like the top 5 player. Fitz, he's good. Yeah, I mean, I know you were supposed to say that, but just
what do you think of this guy? Oh, I like him too.
Yeah, Ludwig, Xander's got to be like him. What's going on right now? It's every skill, putter to driver, and every club in between is important this week. And you like the top 6 players in the world. They're good options.
Well, I will say one of my buddies texted me, like, can you pick the top 4 finishers for me in the PGA? And I said, sure. Scotty, Rory, Cam Young, and I can't remember who I put 4th, but it was like, so Sean.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to say, like, pick the top 4, I'm going to go with those guys.
Who are you picking, Joseph?
Since I'm committed to using Scotty at Memorial, told myself before this season started, that's where I'm using him. I think it's a really good pick, but I'm taking Rahm. I'll take Rahm this week.
Oh, Rahm's a sad boy. We want to get into that as the next.
Sad. Did you think he looked that sad? I didn't think he did.
It seems sad.
He looks. I'm just going residually off for Live Virginia. That looked pretty dire. Let's be honest.
Honestly, he's talking about how he never looks back at decisions in his press conference. And then, it was great by Shane Ryan to basically re-ask the question.
Yeah.
And then it was like he basically got to the point of like, well, I couldn't have foreseen this happening.
Meanwhile,
but you know what? You actually could have seen this happening because that's what happens when there's a completely delusional business model centered around one key funder. Is that if the funder leaves, that would be a risk.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, wouldn't be a risk to this podcast, though we are very appreciative. Perfect practice. This is why we diversify. We are very lucky and fortunate to have perfect practice.
Before we get to perfect practice, this is a tie-in with perfect practice. I had one game within the game that I wanted to present to all 3 of you.
Okay,
and it
please.
involves perfect practice ambassador Dustin Johnson, who I know has been logging the hours on his perfect practice putting mat. You know who he's paired with, BP?
I didn't see it, but I did get some up close.
BP.
Hold on.
Did they jam him? Did they put him with like people that are beneath his staff?
Well,
Rory, did it go in?
Are you serious?
No way.
So disrespectful to honestly one of like the 2 greatest players of his era. That is so disrespectful.
So I present you with the game of the week. This is the game of the week. Who's usually on the game of the week in the NFL? That's Troy's booth. No, it used to be Troy's. Now
they all claim it.
KB and Brady. Yeah.
Well, America's game of the week or whatever.
America's game within the game. Blocky versus DJ. Perfect practice putting mat. Dustin Johnson ambassador.
Dustin Johnson will hopefully have a leg up on Blocky thanks to his perfect practice putting mat. The putting mat is the highest quality for realistic putting experience, crafted with unique crystal velvet material that ensures smooth and precise ball movement, simulating real greens. I wonder if DJ had input there with not this crystal, but that crystal velvet. The chip shot, they also have an automatic ball return, not just a putting mat, but a chip shot, a chipping device with an automatic ball return chipping net. It includes a grass mat and target that lets you get a ton of reps in without chasing balls. Andy claims he's into grinding again. So maybe he gets his chip shot relocated in his new location and get going. You can too at perfectpractice.com. The promo code is SGS. You get 20% off. 20% off with SGS at perfectpractice.com. The mat, the chip shot, get it going. DJ was in there. I got some words from DJ. So it's very different. This is a course that just he doesn't remember at all. That may be because it's different, or it may be because he just doesn't remember it. But I think it's the firmness versus the softness of what they played last time. The rough is a little different. The rough is a little patchy, I would say, based on what I could see. Like it's very, hit or miss. Right. Rory compared it to Memorial style rough at one point in a comment to DJ. They also were talking about Tuesday night dinner next year, which was fun at the Masters, just making jokes about Taco Tuesday or what it's going to be. So good conversation with DJ. He seems pretty happy place, DJ. I don't know about Michael Block. I don't know about if he knew about he was playing.
Who
with
are you guys taking
So
in
who
the
you
blocky,
taking? Yeah.
the blocky DJ undercard? I'd like to point out that Brendan. I think if we
true.
reviewed the tapes, Brendan's actually responsible for Blocky.
I don't think it's if we reviewed the tapes. I think everybody knows that at this point.
Someone made the analogy like
was
this is like
Thursday.
someone who whispered in Donald Trump's ear in like 2014, like he should run for president.
No,
he should do that. And like
Thursday.
I'm responsible for Blocky. That's not
Thursday. It was Thursday morning
Uh-huh.
of the PGA at Oak Hill.
Yeah.
Blocky does a walk and talk, and one media member perks up and tweets out something along the lines of, "What a refreshing gentleman."
Quite
You're just
insightful.
paraphrasing.
Quite insightful.
No, quite insightful was
That's
definitely
real walk and talk.
was
It
a
was a real
quote.
walk and talk. Now, little did we know,
I think it was what a breath of fresh air.
this is what walk and talk should be and how you get the Corbridge financial team integrated. Now by Sunday, I was out. To be clear, I was out by Sunday after we got word he'd asked for a walk and talk on Friday. Again, like actually went and approached. Can I get a walk and talk?
Here we go. I found it. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah,
No.
I love that you found this.
This walk and talk with Club Pro Michael Block is awesome. One of the better Club Pro integrations into the tournament that I've seen.
At the time,
Follow-up tweet. Threaded. Another tweet. It's largely because of Block, who
I
seems
love it.
super enjoyable and insightful. I knew insightful was in there somewhere.
He
You
was.
are like the end of Oppenheimer, where he stares into the camera and thinks, I have become death, destroyer of worlds. That is what you have done here.
God,
So,
it's
anyways,
just-
I think Brendan should have to take Blocky.
no, I'm taking
this
DJ.
game within the game.
I'm taking DJ. This is unbelievable. I cannot take Block in any real way over DJ. That even if you think DJ is semi-retired, not worried about playing competitive golf, I can't take Block. You guys want some good Block insight from his
Wait,
practice
what's
round?
everybody
Hold
else
on,
taking?
hold
Go ahead.
Is Rasmus Højgaard eligible as the just tormented
No.
third man who has
No.
to be subjected to this?
No, it's one or the other.
All right, I'm taking DJ.
Lamagna.
Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun. Block party. Brendan said this is extremely disrespectful to arguably the second best player of his generation. I wasn't even sure who you were talking about.
All right. Come on.
You know what?
Who do you like, Andy?
I enjoyed watching DJ play oftentimes, but there's only two players that I've shared inside the ropes experience with at a PGA Tour course playing. I'm taking my guy, Michael Block.
Oh, you played with them. I forgot.
Blocky's already setting this up as his swan song. He doesn't think he's going to play the big PGA anymore. He's totally going to the concession from now on, now that he's 50.
He's completely inevitable. He will always be here. I know someone who was with Blocky in a practice rounds or just intimately watched it, followed him, said he spent the whole front nine instructing the crowd to clap when he made putts. So he would please clap when he would make his putts or hit shots. He signed over 100 things through 9 holes really quickly. He was audible calling shots out to the crowd as they're in the air. They said, quote, absolute showman, calling out shots in the air to the crowd as they're just letting it rip. He's also apparently he's available to speak for a fee this week around Philadelphia. Good, nice little 5-figure fee. So he's cash. I mean, as he should.
High 5 figures, low 5 figures.
I'll call it low, to be fair. Call it
What
low.
he used to run Cameo. He didn't accept our Cameo.
Who
request.
did Lamagna request it? Pay for it? Did you
I paid for
expense
one.
that?
I tried to get him to announce Thirst Bucket of the Week, like have a prompt that I'm Michael Block announcing Thirst Bucket of the Week, and never delivered.
He
He
took
was
the
on
money
it.
though.
No, it got returned.
Okay.
Blocky
Well,
is available this week for 24-hour delivery at the low price of $125.
Do you think we could try?
I mean, we could get it for Thursday's show if I ordered it right now.
No, I got to take DJ. What's self-respecting? Anything on Rahm? Anything further on Rahm? Lamagna, why are you taking him? Why are you so intrigued by him this week?
Well, I have one question about Rom. What's the Spanish Slam?
Every Spaniard has won every major but the PGA.
So they just call it the Spanish Slam? That's a
I
real thing.
guess. That seems like kind of insane. But yes. I mean, they just make these tenuous connections whenever they can. Just
Um,
maybe.
I mean, I don't have any like crazy reason for liking Rahm other than that outside of 1 week, which happened to be a very important week this year. He's been a really good player and he's been consistent. I'm not like obsessed with Rahm, but I think he could have a good week. I feel like the doubt of Rahm, he was in the mix last year's PGA. Like he's still a great player. He might not be what he was, but I don't have a lot of concern about. I like him more than Bryson.
Yeah. I mean, this seems like an apology to the Spanish listeners that were offended by PJ's pronunciation of Catalunya.
Oh, they were upset
on
about
Sunday.
that on Monday. Yeah. He is a better pick than Bryson. Why are you out? Are you out? Does that mean you're out on Bryson, or you just?
This is
prefer
such
Rahm?
a good setup for Bryson, theoretically.
It is. Can we talk about how he's like
Not a professional golfer.
Oh, he hasn't been like that great, in crunch time at majors or non-crunch time at majors now since Pinehurst.
Do you remember when he was like at the Open at St. Andrews? Like, I'm excited. I'm so excited about being back to being a pro golfer.
Yeah, I do.
After
remember that.
the lifting, like where he got, I mean, like he just gets like these like fits of like obsession, and he got obsessed with the lifting, the power, adding bulk. Then he's like, oh, I'm just excited about being a professional golfer again. And he wins, the U.S. Open. But he, in the meantime, at that point, YouTube was a thing he did. It feels like he's just become like so into YouTube that once again, pro golf and YouTube and building these clubs, that pro golf isn't the focus.
Do you guys think there's a chance that Bryson's never really like a consistent top 10 player in the world ever again?
No.
I don't either, but
I think this is just going to be the way his life works, where he yo-yos. Like, listen, he could go win this week.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. But like, it could be just this thing where he yo-yos between like how into pro golf he is, where his interest just wanes. Which is, it's kind of understandable. And I think like a lot of people in their own career could relate to this.
Yeah. My hotel Wi-Fi just went on the fritz here in Philly, but no, I think it's an interesting case study. Look, like he's kind of a man on an island right now, and maybe that like motivates you to play your best golf, right? If he is like feels like caged in, but I don't know that he's that kind of guy. Like I don't want to say he's like, remember like when LeBron went to actually want to be the villain. It might be, but like he wasn't really wanting to be the villain. Rahm is like going through it right now. He's kind of boxed in, and maybe that motivates him to prove something. But I don't think he's really comfortable with where he's at right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. My
Bryson
Wi-Fi's
just
all
wants
over
to
the
be
place.
loved.
Clearly.
It's the core
Clearly.
of Bryson, right?
Do you feel like that's fallen off a little bit? I think it peaked a little bit at Pinehurst. Like he had the people in the palm of his hand. I don't know. I guess we could see again this week.
I don't think
You don't think that has Lamagna at all?
I don't want to go too hard on him for South Africa and whatever he was dealing with, but I think there was some of the similar energy of wanting to be loved there and through every time we've seen him since.
BP's frozen.
BP's out.
Oh man, look
We
at
might
that
have lost
face.
BP.
Look at that screen grab of his face. It's like the perfect face to be frozen with.
We might have lost BP.
The BP's down. All right, where are we going next? Should we get into some storylines nobody's talking about?
Let's do it. We might as well pick it up here. He's still frozen. I'm checking on him. Where do you want to go? You lead us.
I got one. We've talked a lot about setups. Rory's saying a strategy list. Joseph, I have a question for you. Is this the week to trust the process?
Potty?
If it's strategy list, it is about bashing a driver. Could this be a pot geeter? Aldrich pot geeter week.
You kid. I think that it is not crazy that Aldrich Potgeider could have a good week this week. I don't think that's crazy.
I suggested this as a serious. We don't mess around with these graphics. I suggested this being serious. You know, he just run.
I think
He dominated on a rough laden, rather shortish, Dow Ross design.
I like your call, Andy, from earlier in the show that we could see some names that we don't always see in the mix at majors. And I think like Thorbjornsen comes to mind for me as somebody that we could see. And I think Potgieter is also not a crazy name to suggest. Some wedge shots out of the rough, if the greens are a little bit soft. I mean, he's got that shot. Honestly, I don't think it's crazy at all.
I think there's a real reason that Victor Hovland seems to flash every PGA. Is because all these PGA courses have the thick rough around greens.
Yeah, I don't think Victor's got some driving issues, but I like the Potgieter call, Andy. I think this is a good call.
I mean,
You brought up another name.
Yeah, this is a professional segue here by you. Hammer down, Michael Thorbjornsen can replace Noah Syndergaard as Philly's premier sports Thor with a big week this week.
It's a home game for him too.
I
laid this out as a home game.
I almost went that way with this graphic. I didn't want to double down on the home game, but if it's a home game for Keegan, Michael Thorbjornsen is from closer to Philly than Keegan is. So the home game models also inherently have to apply here.
Hey, you guys batted this around. I didn't watch it. I mean, Brendan is coming back in now. You're back, BP. You missed our potty storyline. Nobody's
We'll go
talking
back
about.
for you.
Yeah.
Trust the process. I mean, he's so small. I walked right by him today. I wouldn't say Kazuki Higa, who you could put in your pocket, literally, but Potty he's like tiny now. He's tiny. Potty. Trust. All right. Potty was done by Thursday at like 10 minutes into his first round at the Masters.
Hey, BP, how about Keegan with the this is a home game.
I mean, I just, you know, he's beyond caricature at this point, Keegan. He's gritty from Queens. He's grew up in a cabin in Vermont. He's from Boston. He's, grew up, inside the Green Monster as well. He's, from Jupiter. He's best friends with Michael Jordan. Now he's from Philadelphia. I don't know. It's just, well, to be fair, though, the questioner was thirsty, like looking for the narrative to write that, like, he's a home game. So I just thought it was more like he loved Carrie Hage. That this is perfect. And he gets it right. Hand up. That was not the song they were singing about 6 months ago at Bethpage. I don't think they were simpatico. It was interesting. I mean, a lot of different stories about that, but yeah, it was interesting. Where are we at?
Another game within the game I had.
Yes.
Could
Keegan do well this week?
Well, here's the game within the game.
Okay.
Keegan, Luke Donald, or Ryder Cup hopeful captain, but shot down Stu Sink.
Or Snedeker.
Honestly,
Snedeker.
If Snedeker wins, does he have to be on the P Cup team? I know I said last week I'm not doing it. If he wins a major,
be the best story. Number one story would be Snedeker winning.
Number one? Are you out of your mind? Number one story.
Joseph's picking up what I'm throwing down too.
Andy is 1,000% right. Brandt Snedeker is by far the most entertaining outcome. Are you kidding me?
What?
I think he's right.
Jordan Spieth completing the career slam?
No, because that would get out of hand. If Brandt Snedeker wins, come on.
Okay.
It'll just be hilarious.
Neds wins. We're going to get press releases about record-setting ratings on CBS Sunday because Snedeker is the best outcome possible.
Spieth winning is unbelievable for 3 weeks. Snedeker winning is unbelievable for a full year.
He would have to play the B Cup. He would
qualify. He would. He said he's won a major. You'd have to make him play. So you're going Snedeker, Stink, and who? Keegan in a game within the game.
And LD.
I like Snedeker.
LD.
After I just not LD.
That's a guy, Brendan, who does not watch the Champions Tour.
Luke
So
Donald?
Stu is dialed right now. Stu is seeing it.
Oh, I'm not.
I
yeah.
mean, this is
I understand.
This is one of the best players in the world.
I mean, Snedeker just won on the PGA Tour. That's not like nothing, man.
You know, he didn't win the senior PGA.
All right, fine. He beat Corbridge senior advisors.
I think
Sweet.
PJ deep down thinks that winning a senior major is harder than winning the Myrtle Beach Classic.
I think Bernard Langer would agree with me.
I mean, that's patently not true. Lamania, can you add a data point of view to that? That's just not.
It's definitely not true.
It's not true at all.
Who are you guys taking?
I'm taking Sneds.
Stu, 1,000%.
Who do you got?
I'll take Snedeker. I'm just rooting for chaos.
I'll take Keegan. I'll take the active player who should have been on last year's Ryder Cup team.
It's a fair question. A fair answer. What do you guys want to do next? Should we do tee times?
Yeah.
We talked about what are some of our favorite tee times? I cannot believe Blocky. I missed Blockies with DJ. It's insane.
I gotta say, there are some just horrendous.
It's bad.
tee
It's
times.
worse than it usually is.
Like I've
I don't
never
know. They're
looked at
usually
a tee
pretty
sheet.
bad.
Like it got to the point I was writing them down, and
There's so many
I
bad
saw the first one that I was like, oh man, that was that might be the worst tee time of the week. And then I was like, wait a second, that's not that bad. Like Bill Mao, Chris Gabriel, and Taylor Pendrith is like your second tee or third tee time off. You know, second tee time off 10. And I'm like, man, that's a tough pairing. That's like a good pairing.
We occasionally sometimes say like to nominate worst pairing, it can't include a club pro, but like many of them do. Can I just real quick while we have the boys here? How are you feeling about Cameron Young, arguably maybe the best player in the world right now, in his pairing? Did he get jammed? Like, I would say putting Spieth with Rom and Rory is a little it's just incongruent with the way the world is right now.
Do you think
Where is Cameron?
Being to Spieth to do that to him?
Honestly, yes, I do.
Kind of. Yeah.
Spieth's gonna have that moment that Rory had in 2011 when he was like, or no, 2015 when Rory was like, I just don't know how he shot 68.
How the hell is he 2 under par right now, walking off the 15th green? I think it was at a. It's like one of those NBA dunk contests, and like there's just a guy there that like just can't get up like the others, and it's like, oh well, he's just doing two-handed. You know, he's just going up to like Spieth's not there right now. That's not to discredit what he was. He's just not there.
I do think that was the total jamming. On the Cam Young thing, as Joseph said, comfy pairing. As comfy as you could get. Keegan Bradley and Justin Thomas. Now, as I said on Sunday, I'm a little worried that we have a Space Jam situation developing between Justin Thomas and Cameron Young as JT is stealing his shoes, his putter. What's next? Is he going to steal his PGA coach dad? We're going to dad swap now too. Like, where is the line really? But it's a very comfy pairing.
Steal his conforming ball. He would take his conforming ball.
Do you think that I can't believe we haven't talked about that yet. Do you think that that JT, as a past champion, requested this pairing so he could get a closer look at what Cameron Young was doing inside the ropes?
Maybe that's yeah.
Two former champions requested this pairing. Keegan and JT probably put their thumb on the scale.
JT's essentially a PGA board member at this point, you know, with his dad and winning too. I think he's got a lot of power there. Maybe he requested it. That is, I just feel like Cam should be where he is right now should be a little higher with some more real power hitters.
I don't think Cam would, if he could hand pick a pairing, I think that's pretty much who he'd pick to play with.
I don't disagree with that.
He and JT are like boys. Apparently JT is one of the pros who took him under his wing like early on in Cam's career on tour. They do a fundraising or they do some kind of like junior Ryder Cup event together. I know Cam gets along with Keegan. I actually think it's like the dream pairing for Cam Young.
I don't disagree with that. It just feels like he's in a different featured group level right now.
None of the boys took Cam Young.
The thing about one and done is that you can only use a guy once, and we've done that already.
That's
Didn't
fair.
pick him for a major.
That's fair. What are some
Yes,
other horrible?
yes, I did.
All right, let's go down good pairings.
Okay, let it rip.
Right out of the gate, Shattuck, Alex Fitzy, and BG Ben Griffin.
I thought we.
How did Shattuck? How did a club pro get put in this group?
He's from Rolling
He's-
Green.
I
He's a
think
local
he's-
favorite.
But still, like, why is it with a guy that's like one of the hottest players of the world, Alex Fitzpatrick, and then Ben Griffin, who's like a bona fide top 15 player in the world? Like, why are they playing with a club pro?
I mean, there's 20 of them. They got to put him somewhere.
Opening
is-
tee shot, right? That's the
Yeah,
point.
that's Shattuck.
Because he's been in the he's apparently been a pro 31 years and he's only played Aronimink not a pro. He's been in the area 31 years and he's played Aronimink only twice.
Well, didn't he say
For
in
this-
competition?
No, I think it was twice. He's barely
Oh.
played it. So, Braden
Peach, what do you
Shattuck.
got next?
Jimmy Walker, Jason Duffner, Hao Tongley.
I had that down. I only did cursory research, but I immediately was drawn to that.
What's going on here? Hao Tong's like a real player.
Hao Tong is sneaky a major player. Like sneaky a major player. Will find himself in the conversation at the very least.
He was in the final group of the Open Championship last year.
Yeah.
I just
And you
I gotta
paired
say,
him with
like-
two guys that aren't real golfers anymore.
Duffner and Walker. I don't know. They don't strike me as worldly, real open to seeing the light, the humor and lightness that some of like the younger players get from Houghton. That feels like a tough scene for Houghton, if I'm being honest. You know. So yeah.
To give you a little lens into the worldly, what you're talking about with Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't
You
want
know, I heard a report. This is inside intel. This is just anecdotal. Jimmy would wear like his full sponsor kit regalia every day to the club that he plays at, like full logoed out, like
Insperity or whatever it is, Callaway.
like I heard this years ago, and it's just like every time Jimmy Walker gets brought up, I think about this, and the person that told me is like, yeah, like he just every time he comes to the club, he is just fully decked out in his sponsor gear, and it's just like, wait, you don't have any other golf clothes
Free
that you can
clothes.
wear?
They're free clothes. Oh, that's a terrible pairing for Houghton. Terrible. I mean, those guys are just they're gonna be trying to break 75. What's another bad one?
Well, I got a good one. I had that
Good
as a
one.
good one.
Okay,
That was
good
the one that
fine.
I'm interested in.
Okay, fine.
Well, I'm interested. I'm interested for not maybe good reason.
I put it down as a good one as well. Good.
I
So
like
bad it's
this.
good.
This one made me smile early in the tee sheet. Johnny Kiefer, Rico Hoey, and Nico Højgaard. It's just great to see our guy, me and PJ, the Hoey heads of this podcast. He's in a major. He's got a shot because he's in the field.
I mean, if it's just bomb and get it out of the rough, Rico Hoey's got that shot.
I
The
might have
putts,
to.
I
I
don't
might
know.
have to. I might have to have send you some cash to put on him for me.
How Elvis Smiley having to watch Davis Riley and Martin Keimer?
Yep,
I
that's
mean,
on the list.
That's a good pairing. That's an interesting pairing. What do you think they're going to be talking about?
I mean, that could be damaging to Smiley, like having to watch that. This could be scarring in a way, right?
What's going on with Davis Riley?
Oh God.
I walked with Davis Riley at the Masters. I think it was early Sunday morning, and I was like, let's just go
drive
find
by.
something. And he hit shots into places that nobody has ever played from at Augusta National. I felt bad for the
the
guy. He's hitting
Masters.
shots 40, 45 yards offline. So I would not expect Davis Riley in the top 10 here.
He was a runner-up last year.
I was
Well,
gonna say that's
Real
how he's
quick.
here. That's how he's in the Masters. That's how he's everywhere.
Real question. I don't want to incite an entire giant fan base, but is there something that goes on with Alabama golfers and not being able to find the planet with their driver?
that's an interesting.
JT,
God, interesting.
Dunlap, Davis Riley.
Could we come up with some sort of like, they were paying the players before it became legal, or were they like cheating or something, and then like they get exposed when they go to the pros and they
Big
have
10 schools
self-correcting
caught up.
drivers or something? No, the
Uncollie-
Tides cheat.
Collie.
I just was thinking
interesting.
about it there.
Should we go to the
Could it be a
maybe
Saban effect?
Could be a Saban effect.
number
I mean, I
one?
thought Andy, I thought you were going to say our Alabama guys are just not good.
I wasn't going to be that harsh and direct.
I mean, the
You know,
thing is,
that's
they were all very good at one point or another. Now they're
we
very-
could
Oh.
do
JT won a PGA recently, but I don't know if you guys saw this. Actually, I saw this come across my feed early in the morning, and I was really disappointed with how many picked it up. Because do you see the guy that he beat at the PGA at Southern Hills? Do you see what he's doing this week? Vito Pereira just dirt bike or
I
mountain
didn't see
biking.
this. What an
this week.
update! Thank you for this news update. That's great.
Look at this. Watch this video. He's like out there just mountain biking this week. PGA's happening. He was literally one swing away from winning the PGA and playing in the PGA for the rest of his life. Now he's retired and a mountain biker.
You know what? Good for Mito. That looks way more enjoyable and fulfilling than coming to Philadelphia and getting punched in the face as a golfer who's only half in anymore. Right? But it is a remarkable fall from grace. Literally was at the PGA Championship on his driver. He could be in the McKeel zone. He could be in the Walker and Duffner zone. He could have had a trophy. Even though, I saw McKeel today. He's got a stand bag. Sponsored by the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I still feel bad,
Not because he
bad
was
about
making
what
the
I
wish.
said to McKeel.
Why? Oh, you said like,
Corey Connors, he's got no chance.
yeah, he had a nice, yeah. McKeel, he had a tough draw. Doesn't he have a hard draw? McKeel?
I mean,
Brennan?
it's Brennan and Garrick Higo. Yeah, that was on my list. That wasn't
is
on
on
my
your
top
list
five.
of bad?
I mean,
Yeah.
every
Oh,
draw's
yeah. I
tough
mean-
if you're Sean McKeel at this point. Let's be honest. All right.
We have a
I'll go to
wise
my-
man with a smother man. Do you have that down, PJ?
The wise man with the smother man was also on my list.
This mother boy.
Smaller boy.
Let's be proper with our names here.
Well, it wasn't going to rhyme, but yes, the smother boy for this podcast. Also for this podcast, the final tee time of the PGA Championship on Thursday.
Oh,
Sudarshan Yelamaraju,
my
Burnt Cheeseburger, and the Bumblebee Andy Sullivan.
God, that's a
So
great
good.
group.
Such a good tee time.
That is incredible. That felt put together just for us. Cheeseburger.
Was the cheeseburger on 2016 with the Bumblebee on that Ryder Cup team, or was
No,
he
he was Paris. He was Paris.
No, he wasn't Paris.
I think he was.
Oh, he was? I thought he was
Yeah.
Whistling Straits, just getting massacred.
He might have played on
no.
two.
He might have
Ryder
been
Cup
both.
teams.
Maybe I'm wrong.
The
Okay.
cheeseburger. The Bumblebees, I thought LD should have been paired with the Bumblebee to get a good look at one of his stalwarts for next year for Dare Manor.
God, man, there were some Bumblebee, Chris Wood, Thomas Peters, who just wants to like sit in the park. Like that's 2016. Heard a story the day.
Young Fitzy.
Young Fitzy, who was like just a boy
Deer in the
overwhelmed by the
headlights.
yeah. They had some weak moments. I heard a story today that Darren Clark wanted to just speaking of to Carrie Hage, just absolutely wanted to break Carrie Hage in half at that PGA. Not happy with with the crowd control. Little did he know it could have been Bethpage. All right, I like that. That's a great group. Could Sudarshan win, Joseph?
Well, I was going to say, apparently this most recent Euphoria episode was a little scandalous. So
Aren't they
Sudarshan
all?
could be pretty worked up trying to win Sydney
God.
Sweeney back
Oh,
over. So
God.
I
I
think
don't want to get into his chemical imbalances or balance, whatever's going on.
if you're looking at it from that perspective, he might be hitting the driver a long way.
Oh, God.
It's bomb and gouge friendly. All I'm saying is there are worse setups for Sudarshan, especially given what was on the television this week earlier.
What else do we got for tee times?
How about one-time best player in the world according to Phil Mickelson, Joaquin Niemann, Tom Hoagie, and Bryce Fisher, a PGA pro.
Neiman, man, that's a fall from grace for Neiman, right? He's in this class of. That's tough. Can I put Brian Campbell, Adam Schenk, and Seabez as nomination for the worst?
Yes, you can. That is number one on my list.
I'll accept that nomination.
5 people watching that group. There's gonna be 5 people.
I'll accept that nomination, and if you want to go all tour pro, I'll raise you an Aaron Rye, Travis Smythe, and Sammy Valmaki pairing.
There's not going to be many Philadelphians out tracking that one. That's just not going to happen. Travis Smythe or Smith?
I think it's Smythe.
God.
Right?
What's the worst case scenario winner? Because I suggested earlier this week it's Chandler Blanchett or Blanchet. If he wins, and he could, he's a signature player. Like, that would be just a tough scene. What are we talking about Sunday night? That'd be a tough one.
Let's see. Worst case.
No, I don't want to. We don't have to blast anyone. I just need to get a drive-by off Blanchett. That's fine. You think Ian Holt's jammed as
Big
KFP?
Shot Bob would be bad just for PJ's peacocking about.
That was my number one best tee time. Gotti, Bob, and Tommy. Fire it up. Let's go.
You think Bob's done being a pouty boy?
No, I don't. But I have no expectation that means he's not going to play well either.
What about Windy with Cameron Smith and Brian Harmon?
Yeah,
Just
that's the all-time heater group.
Major winners, but are they? Kind of group. Kind of situation. There's a big T-Mobile sign with Wyndham Clark at the end of the range, like this big, and it's Wyndham Clark. I was thinking they were having like a pin the tail on the donkey type challenge where you have to throw your driver in honor of Wyndham Clark being the T-Mobile destruction chief. It's sitting right there at the end of the range.
It'd be so good if they did an activation where fans is like a kind of like an axe throw, but a club throw into a T-Mobile sign, and it was over in the corner.
That is capitalism. That's marketing 101. Get some activation going on. Lean into it.
I got a tee time I like here. Akshay,
Please.
Ricky Castillo, and Thor Bjornsson.
Another good one.
Great.
A little young gun pairing.
I think
I also had questions about Ricky's pairing.
Yeah.
He's with Ludwig and Bryson. I mean, has there ever been an organization that fawns and just hands out things to a player more than the PGA with Ricky Fowler? I mean,
the Kyoto exemption.
They gave him 2 or 3 exemptions.
Just
I can't think of exemptions given to an unqualified player that that's been a major player for so long, but never won a major, and an organization's giving them you get special exemptions when you're Tiger Woods.
I'll never forget talking to an agent whose player got jumped by Ricky because they just go down the world rankings, or if it's international. But this was 2 Americans. He's 17 slots ahead of him in the world rankings. They asked wait, why Ricky? They're just cuz. But Ricky's playing well. Put him against Bryson head to head. Who are you picking this week? In that game within the game.
Taking Ricky. Honestly, I think this is a bad pairing for Ricky.
Too much hullabaloo.
Yeah, I think Ricky needs to be just a normal dad. Just a normal dad pairing. Put him with
Shank.
Russell Henley and then you'll be surprised.
There you go. That's my number one jamming. Russell Henley is playing with a club pro and JT Poston. No offense to JT Poston, but this is Russell Henley.
That's disrespectful.
Russell Henley's top 10 player in the world and led the Masters on Sunday a month ago.
It's kind of insane.
The pairings are legitimately bad.
Is this another Carrie Hage issue?
I don't know who does it, but It feels like someone who doesn't make pairings every week of their lives. It feels like someone who just was like, oh, I got to make the pairings. It's Monday at 5 p.m. and it's like, oh, I just better start thinking about these pairings that I have to make.
Hey, I got to call out. There's a fake blocky. He's with Michael Lindbergh and Angel Ayora. His name's Paul McClure. I saw him on the range. He wears a raw hat. Like Blocky wore the raw hat at Oak Hill. I don't know. That's like from 4 years ago. He wears the raw hat and he's got like the black beard. He's just like half the size of Blocky. He looks like Blocky. Wears the raw hat. He's definitely trying to be mistaken for Blocky. Fake Blocky. Paul McClure.
I can't get over them not only pairing DJ with Blocky, but they're first off on Friday at 6:45 in the morning. That is
amazing.
DJ's at 6:45.
That's so disrespectful to Dustin Johnson.
I'd love that though, because you get that weird coverage time window where you see everything. That means we're gonna get a ton of Blocky on Friday morning, and I am in. I'm in for that. Like a couple years ago, it was Kazuki Higa. We got.
I remember that at Oak Hill.
Yeah. That's Blocky's in that slot this year. That's great.
Love that. What else? Do we have any other tee times? Any other
yeah, I got a bunch more. I'm gonna rattle down these.
Let them rip.
I think it's I don't like Rose this week. I don't like Justin Rose at all. And I think it's because they paired him with 2 law enforcement officers. You got the sheriff, he's paired with the sheriff and the constable. So Scotty Scheffler and Matthew Fitzpatrick, two law-abiding men are gonna arrest this this aging wily criminal.
So they want to make sure he's not going too vroom vroom.
That's why they see the McLaren irons and they want to make sure that he's not speeding in his new McLaren equipment. They got to keep him under the speed limit.
So did I see he had 2 bags of like 20 plus irons?
Full bags
Right
of a bajillion clubs on the range today. Just trying to figure out what he's putting in the bag this week.
Would you rather have a toe that was like exposed and torn asunder, or have like 45 irons you're testing on Tuesday morning of a major championship week?
Well, I've never swung the speeds of someone with an injured toe, you know. So I can't really, weigh in on that. But you know what? Like, I'd take the toe 10 times out of 10.
Why are you out on Rose? Who said they're out on Rose?
Who's in on Rose?
I'm not out. I feel vindicated that he's talking about how hard of a time it was at the Masters. I think this iron stuff's kind of bullshit. I don't think this is a Hanma situation.
Overblown.
Yeah.
He hasn't played well the last few weeks, but yeah, he seems like a guy who just jumps right in though. Majors. What other?
I felt like a little lack of buzz for this one. Marco Penge, the septic tank, and Pat Rogers.
That's not gonna have a lot of fans.
I feel like we need more buzz for Penge. This major just has a little lack of buzz.
There was a lot of buzz on Penge going into the Masters. Yeah. It feels like we need just a little bit more. It feels like there's nothing. It feels like something's missing right now.
How about Harris English with Daniel Brown and Adrian Sadier?
That one was bad.
Dan Brown was playing with Rory today, and when Rory decided he wasn't going to play anymore, Brown cracked to the crowd like, "You're not going to still keep coming with me?" As everybody just peeled off and walked away. It's pretty good. He's a fun character.
How about the Zach Haynes, Alex Smalley, Chandler Blanchet pairing? The aforementioned Chandler Blanchet.
I mean, come on. Might as well just put a gap in the tee sheet. What are we doing with that? Create some room.
That one's like third to last. So there's
I'm sorry, that's overly. Smalley and Blanchet were just contending in recent signature events. So I don't mean it that they're not up for it. It's just
I did like the Stu Sink, Luke Donald, Jesse Dromer. Do you think Luke's gonna be, telling Stu, thank God you're not the captain?
I think the PGA of America might have done this intentionally. I think they want to get in Luke's head, see what you could have done against them.
Or this is one of the guys you might have to go against.
Well,
right?
That's one of the 12 best American players, as I've said for months now on this podcast.
What else do we have? Any other tee times?
Well, we should say some of the big ones. Obviously, Rory, Spieth, Rahm, they're off
cares
at
about any of this?
840.
Yep. We mentioned that.
Yeah. So then you got the Scotty Fitz he won. And we talked about the Fleetwood Goddard and Big Shot Bob pairing.
There's some good pairings in there. I think it's gonna be a good major. Yeah, should we talk about Cameron Young's
the ball?
You know what? Sure we can, Brendan, because this brings us to a storyline nobody's talking about. This is a surprise for Andy. He doesn't know this. Joseph and I cooked this one up.
Golf Sam Henke.
Golf Sam Hinkie. It's a picture of 40 pits, folks, listening on audio. The famous Cam Young 40 ball is actually rollback conforming. 40 pits, drew out a process, gave it to his Joel Embiid, Cameron Young, and is just watching from afar as the rollback ball has taken Cam to new heights previously unforeseen.
So this wasn't a rollback ball intended to be a rollback ball. It was a ball that was created that would now conform to the spin and the regulations that they want to put.
I think it's the double dot.
Yes.
Yeah, it was talked about after one of his wins to great lengths.
Wyndham, because that was the first week he played it.
This started going around hot this morning. Apparently there are maybe 5 guys who are playing this that conforming ball, and Cameron Young is obviously playing among some of the best golf in the world, if not the best, and winning. It sort of, there was like this conspiracy theory that Titleist was purposely like making their prototype like poor, to cry like foul, to cry issue, like to be like, look what you're doing, like this is like you have no idea what you're doing, we're the best ball maker. And like there was, one manufacturer was causing issues, and maybe they were like struggling to keep up, but not like intentionally or unintentionally. I think like, and Joseph wrote a little bit about this, does this give them another quiver in the arrow? It feels like what they've proven is at this point, all they want to do is just fight. Feels like they want to dig in and they want to fight. They just want to fight this so bad that, we know they make the best ball. Well, they probably would R&D the best ball under new conditions. And it feels like there's this like residual era from like the Wally Uline when this really started. Like this was a non-starter. This was like suggesting that the earth is flat. Like that's where we were starting with the notion that any rollback would be suggested. Call it at the turn of the century or, probably, early 2010s, just the notion of it. Right. And so like the world has evolved and changed. And obviously the distance has become much, much more, insidious, the effects. But like Titleist, they would make probably the best rollback ball, right? And so, yeah, I was listening to Live From driving out, and like Brandel, and I think it was Brandel was like, well, this is proof positive bifurcation is the way. The game must be bifurcated. We also now have to go to other measures. We have to shrink the driver head. We have to do all these different things.
Man, Brandel's now saying that.
I couldn't believe it. That's why I'm bringing it up. And
that's incredible that he's saying this.
Has Titleist gone and like sort of indirectly proven that we need more regulation, or like we know that they fought bifurcation, right? Like they were like, they just feel like they want to fight everything.
There are a lot of things to unpack here. I think that the yelling about this is a little overblown.
We'll clarify what yelling that people think this is.
The people just being like all bent out of shape about it. I will say that I think like with the specs of the ball, like what I would be fascinated about is like, okay, so like Cameron Young, this rollback ball optimizes Cameron Young.
Yes.
And I'm guessing a player like Russell Henley, this thing's just falling out of the sky, just based off their swing characteristics and what they do to a golf ball, right? The what you would want for Cameron Young is like if Russell Henley put this in play, you'd be like, wait a second, he's carrying at 245 instead of 265, you know? So anyways, that part is alarming, and it kind of gets me to like my first reaction of this is like, well, this isn't a good look for the USGA. Like a really bad look for the USGA. And
hey, on that point, do you think this was like strategically pushed out as we go towards US Open time?
By who?
I don't know, but everybody and their mother was talking about it in different ways this morning, and then all of a sudden it's like this is going to be out there by the afternoon.
So
that
like
probably wasn't. Never mind. Go ahead.
And I think that like to Titleist's credit, I do think this is what they've been talking about, and what they've been pushing is that they believe that the rollback is like not. This is not the way to do it. Now they've been I think like in parts, like to me, the issue here is the lack of collaboration across all. And I think it's like, I think the blood's on everybody's hands a little bit. And I think Titleist has been, historically a bad actor with this stuff. But to me, the signals here that we need. And like, I don't think they need to delay anything. The signals is like Titleist has so many different golf balls for so many different subsets of players that they can manufacture a ball to any spec really quickly is one thing I know. Like this R&D bullshit excuse period that we need
the
X
money,
number of years to do this. That is so bullshit. Okay. But also on the USGA front, like, this is embarrassing, like really embarrassing that this is your big thing. And it's like, yeah, Cameron Young hit it 380 yards or whatever he hit it on 18 at Sawgrass.
Yep.
And he's going to be playing the same ball in 5 years when you've made this big thing about, how we're going to reset the clock, basically. So to me, I think like, this has got to be back. I echo Brandles. This is a back to the drawing board moment. And I think what is in the best interest, golf is too small to divide it and too small to get in these civil wars. The way this has to work, and the only way this can work based off of what's happened, is that Titleist, the USGA, and other sophisticated manufacturers have to sit down in a room under the agreement that we need to take X number of yards off the game or whatever. We need a 10% reduction or whatever, however you want to word it. But this is what we're doing. And they need to work together to figure out the best way to achieve it so it actually happens. Because this is a disaster if this is the case, where like, one player's not going to see any different, like is going to play the same ball, but then another player is like, and I'm sure they'll be able to eventually engineer for this, but this isn't what the bill of goods that the USGA has been selling.
You didn't think anything based on the prior 20 years that Titleist would be interested in doing that, getting in a room, which is part of the problem of you saying like they are right. But the problem is also they have no other, like they also don't want the alternative and the other alternative and the other alternative. Like there is no counter proposal.
This is the whole issue. This is why I said like golf is like all of them everybody involved, from Augusta National to the PGA of America, they have to come to the agreement that the sport is too small to divide it. We already saw that with Live and what happened with Live in the early days. It was like, we don't want to do this. Like, they can't do that. They have to do something. The only way this is going to work is kind of where my head's gone with this, is like, if they do it together. And I don't know if it's possible, but it's kind of a crazy day. I can't believe this is like, we're talking about this at minute 140 or whatever it is. But
it's a big issue that's
Yeah.
independent from the PGA Championship that happened on the PGA Championship. But yes, we will talk about it quite a bit.
But it's crazy. I mean, it's just like, what a nutty situation where there's 5 guys playing a rollback ball on tour.
And probably being quite successful with it.
Yeah.
At least we know Cameron Young is. Joseph, what was your point? That this proves Titleist's point that this is sort of just a nuisance.
One of the best critiques of the proposed rollback is that it doesn't actually achieve the effect that it's after. And I think this is pretty good evidence of that. Hey, like, some guys it's not going to affect at all. And the guys that it is going to affect, it's probably going to be pretty small. So if you are imposing a hurdle and extra cost and there are these frictions for no perceived benefit, then I do think it's probably a pretty bad use of the USGA and RNA's political capital, which they might not have a lot to spend anyway. So if this is the big initiative that has taken like 10, 15 years to go into effect, and it's not even going to do what they want it to do, I think it's a really bad look. And then it's only going to destroy confidence in those organizations to make decisions about the future of the game and rolling back distance in the future. Like, this looks like a pretty big L in the court of public opinion, to me, at least. Like, I think it's kind of an embarrassing look.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting. Obviously, it happens the week of the PGA, and Terry Clark's the new CEO. It'll be interesting. He's up tomorrow on Wednesday. Like, PGA of America was certainly one that was kind of throwing grenades, in conjunction with the tour in a prior era. So we'll see what he says tomorrow, as this became kind of like a hot button issue this week of, maybe unexpectedly becomes a hot button issue on Tuesday. It feels like, the one thing that sort of dawned on me with Justin Thomas's comments last week to Adam Schupak, who had a great story with a bunch of comments from people of like, we don't need amateurs making rules for us. Like, we're not going to, it's our game. We're going to do it the way we want to do it. And no amateur is going to tell us how to do it. I feel like after the last 5 years, didn't it dawn on golf pros that like they're pretty disposable and like interchangeable, and like the game of golf, like it just seems like we're going back to 2021 mindset. I remember there was like that great like awakening in 22 or 23 where like, yeah, man, like none of us matter, right? Like it's all like institutional. It's all like are we on CBS 3 to 6 on Sunday? Are we at the Masters? And the names bar 1 or 2 can kind of all come and go. And like, it feels like we're going back to like, that was that mindset I was getting from JT of like, we are the most important people in golf. And I don't know that that's the case.
Well, and this is the thing, how this all ties together with this week. And this is why everybody needs to, like, everybody has to work together on this, because this week, here we are in Philadelphia, great sports market, with 2 really good championship courses that technology is frankly passed by between Marion and this. Yeah. And like, yeah, they can't play here. And JT's, amateurs, like, do you want to play here? And JT's going to go to Frisco next year and complain about it. He's going to say like, this is, it's like, they complain about Erin Hills. They complain about Chambers Bay. They're going to complain. They're already complaining about Frisco. So we can't have new championship venues. But then the discourse of the week becomes, oh, this course can't test these guys enough. And there's no issue. Like, this is why it has to be a solution. This can't be the leading discourse ahead of a major championship if you want the players on the golf course to shine and be the story.
I feel like
think about it. This is the actual players are not a huge story this week.
No, I agree with you. They're not as big a story as they typically would be, I would say, for a major. Why when this topic comes up, every pro just defaults to Harbortown, throws out Harbortown? I feel like every time there's like, well, we got Harbortown. There you go. There's Harbortown. They'll throw us and it would sprinkle in an occasional sawgrass.
Their only example.
And so are you just going to make 35 Harbortowns and that's where we play professional golf from January to September or whatever? And that's it? And that's where all the national championships go, is to Harbortown East, Harbortown South, Harbortown West? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. They always throw that out. But it's just, for me, yeah, it's really crystallized this week. I know some people say we talk about this too much, but you have this entire swath of the country that just feels the courses aren't properly played. Set aside the whole score issue. Joseph, you're so smart on the course stuff. Anything you're feeling going into I said that ineloquently, course stuff going into the week or the week, the tournament?
I think we could take a collective deep breath that like we're all expecting that the scores are going to be low, and I think that that's what's going to happen. But hey, if we avoid a little bit of rain and there's some wind and some firmness, like let's at least let things play out before we're already discussing it getting totally torn apart. But I with that said,
irrespective of score, just how it's played. No bunkers are in play, whether it's windy or firm. Or
I think a really good driver of the golf ball is going to get into a zone and just be pounding it down the fairway, carefree over and over again, and kind of overwhelm the golf course. So
I don't know what I hear.
Go ahead.
I hear tank music.
Tank rumbling. I will say.
You know what interests me? Looking at the weather forecast.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday. Cool days. Like that could the ball's not going to fly as far. The golf course might hold up a little bit better. When it on Saturday and Sunday, when I see like 80s in the forecast, the ball gets juiced up and just goes.
Yeah. But you got Carrie Hage wanting to get 156 guys around on Thursday and Friday.
Well, you got greens, you got bunkers, and you've got long par fours.
I did not think he would be so prominently featured. He's like the king. He's a king of this championship. It'll be interesting.
They should just rename it the Carrie Hage Championship.
One thing they all there's like a consensus on is like, this is not a hard driving golf course at all. Like it's just not. Like whatever score, whatever test, like pretty much consensus, unanimous, not hard driving golf course.
The other thing that we haven't mentioned that Scotty talked about is when you're trying to pack a bunch of fans onto a property that has been lengthened, like guys, when they spray it, are often in the fans. So that just makes it even an easier test off of the tee, as Scotty said. So like even when you do get a little bit off, if it's soft, you might get a trampled down lie into a soft green. So that's a real factor this week.
I know we make fun of him as the fair police sheriff. Like Scotty has some really enlightened course.
Yeah.
Thoughts, elevated. Whether his conclusion is always like where you want it to be, he has some elevated course thoughts in mind, in dissertation. So, all right, what else we got? Anything else? We've made our picks.
We got a couple storylines. We got a rapid fire here.
Yeah.
We'd be remiss if we didn't get here. Whose city is it? Big Don check in with Big Dom upon arrival in Philly.
Unsubstantiated rumor. Don may be in the area. Very unsubstantiated. Allegedly, he was rummaging around Monday night. This would be news to the PGA of America. But, I mean, just, everything he's given us the prior 12 months seems to suggest he could be the guy that says, you're not going to muzzle me. And against his own best interest, he shows up and, then he will be really disposed of if he just shows up and, struts around.
What's my personal opinion on it? There is no personal opinion. I'm the president of the PGA of America, right? I've got 31,000 members that are listening to my every word, and I'm proud to represent them.
Free Don. Free Don. I can't believe they muzzled him.
I can't believe it either. It's so sad.
Well,
right.
They haven't gone on the
event.
They haven't gone on the record and said it was a muzzling. Don considers it muzzling, but Eamon tried. Hand up, tip my cap. He tried. No bait was taken.
Do you think that big Dom character shows up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
All right.
Yeah. Saquon will be there too. He was at the Masters.
Yeah, Saquon is a lock. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Up next, the Boo Birds. Is Colin Morikawa worried that Philly fans may boo him because he's an injured player?
I mean, I don't know. BP, you were there. Are they like scanning for batteries as at the security gates?
They're fine. I'm not going to sit here and besmirch the Philadelphia fans as I have to go into the Lions' den tomorrow. I would say I heard a lot of really stupid shit being said to Rory about his foot, his shoe, his, do you want my shoe? It's okay. Everybody's got blister. Like a lot of dumb stuff. But that was just a Tuesday practice round. Boo Birds. You think they would boo Colin Morikawa?
Maybe. You never know. All right, up next. Can a 1-year Oklahoma Sooner legend rule Philly just like Jalen Hurts? Is this a got her up week? Okay, Boomer.
What a deep parallel. 1 year. Okay.
Thank you.
Portal.
Worked hard on it.
There you go. Jalen Hurts. Feels like a fine got her up option. But there's also like 8 or 10 guys ahead of them that also feel like fine options. Lamani, you shake your head.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
How would the boys feel if got her up win? Is a got her up win the worst thing for the boys?
Unpack that.
All of a sudden, got her up vaults ahead of Cameron Young in public opinion.
A, I don't think that's true. And B, I'm not worried about them. Why can't I like them both?
I'm honestly where my head was going is if Goddard's the 32nd best player in the field, then he and Jalen Hurts have that in common too. So.
That's a dagger.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Behind Shador even, huh?
Gotta be.
Shador.
It's time.
All right.
All right.
I'm excited for football season. All right.
We got one more.
One more.
Just,
all right.
Just to the point. BP, you won't do it, but I will. Bethpage East, according to Joel Embiid. Fans trying to prove Philly is still a sports town this week after the Sixers got swept up by MSG South. All the fans going down the Jersey Turnpike. MSG East, according to Joel Embiid. Sorry, they don't teach geography in Kansas, I guess. But is Philly still a sports town? We'll find out because I know it wasn't last weekend.
We've got people defending Philly in the comments. Marshall and Philly Cricket saying the fans were great and not like Bethpage. Your people up on Long Island, PJ. This big storyline this week, I keep hearing, is like Philly's like a massive sports summer. They have like 6 World Cup games. There's some other event like
the All-Star game.
The All-Star game. That's right. They've got this. I'd say this isn't really summer, but like the whole point was the Flyers and Sixers both got swept in the last week, and now they're just gone. Nothing. I feel bad for them. I don't know. You don't. You don't. The Knicks are in a good spot.
I don't think I ever will feel bad for Philly fans.
Why? Because they got their Super Bowl.
I think they've had a pretty charmed existence in like the last few years.
Would know it. They're a surly group.
Yeah, they are a surly group, but I think they've had a pretty good.
All right. Anything else, Joseph? Any other eve of the championship takes you want to unload? We might talk a little bit tomorrow too, after the PGA brass talks.
Yeah, Ludwig. The name that just keeps coming in my head. I feel like Ludwig could be really prime for a win.
Let's go.
But then at this point, you just mentioned every player in the field, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
so I can't.
You're really, that's a good tout.
I retract.
Is there like is there a scenario where this like becomes a disaster? Lamagna, like what is like a bad outcome for you? And I'm not talking about player. I'm talking about just like what happens.
Chandler playing shit.
No, I'm not talking about playing
If it rains, if it dumps rain late Wednesday night or Thursday night, and there's a really soft Thursday or Friday morning, that's the worst case scenario.
Okay.
Guys will tear it apart if that happens.
Where are you guys at in terms of major championship excitement level? 0 to 10. I think, Andy, I'm just going to guess on Wednesday night of Shinnecock in a month, you're going to be at like, even if it did rain, you're going to be still at like 9, right? Where are you with this one?
I think you know what? Like, I think I'm like at like a 6 in the relative scale. I mean, like Bellerive and Valhalla, I was like at like a 3 or 2.
I
think this like
encouraged today, more than I thought.
This is just like where you wish you could like. I think this golf course could be really cool if people were hitting approaches from 170 yards regularly or 180 yards regularly. This is just where you wish, like, it just like from this Cam Young situation where you wish there was just like a golf ball for every setup, and it's like, here's the golf ball. Like, it doesn't F1 do that where it's like, here's the specs for the week, go get it, or something like that.
I think they change the specs up for the year a lot. I don't know if they change them up week to week. I could be wrong. I have no idea.
NASCAR can do like restrictor plate races, right?
This is just one where you wish like if the ball went 20% shorter, I'd be like amped up, especially with the weather forecast being so good. But I don't know. There's just something with like everybody hitting wedges all day that just is not, it's just hard to get super excited for.
I think the May date has not helped this championship. And I don't want to get into a 20-minute talk about that. But it happened so fast. And you just kind of then move to the US Open. And I don't think it's allowed to. I think when it's in August or was in August, there's like context for a lot of like the season at that point. Right. And you have this like Scotty Scheffler is just or Tiger Woods is going to keep being the ass kicker of the year. And now it's just kind of is the bridge and happens really fast. And it's the bridge to the US Open. And I'm not sure it's done wonders for this championship. And the ratings have not been as strong as they thought it would be. But then you read about the August and it's everybody bitching about it, the heat and the humidity, and everybody's exhausted and there's too many majors and everybody's just done at that point. You got a bunch of fluky winners because everybody's on their last legs. So some people maybe just like to complain and there's no ideal time. But I do think it just happens really fast.
I think the way you put it as the bridge is right.
That's probably not flattering to
Which makes me think maybe Bridge Boy is a good pick this week.
Or a Club Pro, Core Bridge.
Maybe it's all the activation for Core Bridge.
I need to know more about Core Bridge. It feels like not everything's on the up and up there. I was talking about that with somebody today. Okay. All right, we're going to do daily pods. They will be faster than this after play, really rapid. We've started to make these previews sort of a hangout session, which I think is good. But we'll be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and probably Sunday too, just with a little delay as we digest the championship.
Listen to press conferences. Listen to the sheriff talk about fairness. And
we've got 3 Scotties or Rom. Is that what I hear? 2 Scotties, Rom, and PJ. Who'd
the
you have?
deputy.
The deputy.
Sam slamming Sammy Burns. Loving it. All right. Thank you guys for your continued support of the Shotgun Start. We will talk to you Thursday night, right as soon as play winds up. We'll be out live on Shotgun Start YouTube. Talk to you then.